Welcome back to SoulBack. This is the R&B Podcast. Kyle here with Tom and Ed. What is going on, guys?
I'm chilling, players. What's up?
What's up, guys? We're on a roll here. Let's keep it going.
Yes, we are. First and foremost, I would just like to say I'm so thankful that Avant is still alive. Man, the internet was going crazy, but Tom, we got confirmation he's good, right?
We confirmed from the label, management checked in too, so yeah, he's fine. He just was on a diet, I think, for real.
But you know what's crazy to me, player? Even after you got confirmation from the label, even after you've gotten word from the people who actually know this man for real, people were still saying, well, I don't know, he looks like Skeletor in these photos that could possibly be doctored. So you trust random person on Twitter over the man who actually knows Avant. I hate 2019.
Well, he wasn't helping the situation by not chiming in himself, you know.
And yeah, and that's true, and that was bothering me because I was saying, look, if people on Twitter saying, man, Ed's out here looking like skin and bones, I don't know, think he's gonna die any minute, you would think that I would come up and be like, no, y'all, I'm good. But silence makes you seem guilty.
Yeah, but shout outs to Avant. Good to know that he's healthy, alive, and well. But guys, I got a serious question for you guys before we get into some fun games. Janae Aiko and Mila J, of course, they're siblings. They were at Disneyland during the weekend, or last weekend, and they were having lots of fun. So Tom, I got a question for you. If you were walking around Disneyland, you know, with Marlene and your kid, and your boy Musiq Soulchild was with his family, what's the proper etiquette? Would you go up to him and be like, oh my god, Musiq, it's good to see you, or would you just let him have fun with his family?
Well, I know him personally and his team, so I, of course, would go up to him. The proper etiquette for a fan, I'd say if you be respectful, you know, if someone's sitting down with a bite of food in their mouth, I don't know if that's appropriate, but, I mean, Ed, how would you handle this?
I mean, I think it would be fine as far as if you're, again, it depends on the situation, player. If you were wandering around and you see Musiq and I don't know if he's still with 702 Girl or the baby or whoever he's with, and they're wandering around next to Goofy, I mean, it's cool to say, what up, Musiq? I like loving Musiq. That album fire. I don't care what y'all say. Like, that's fine. If he is mid-chew on a turkey leg, sitting down with his family, no. If he is at the urinal and that man ain't even washed his hands yet, don't stick something in his hand for him to sign, you nasty. Like, just use common sense.
Oh, man. Ed. Well, what if you walked up to him at the next urinal over? Can you start conversation? Is that appropriate?
No, wait until he's no longer holding his stuff in his hand and the hands are washed, and then he goes out the door. Then you can talk about Soul Star and how that album is kind of underrated. Then you can do that. But wait till he puts everything back in his pants and everything is washed before you do that. Courtesy, people. Right. It's common courtesy.
What about if we pretended we were TMZ and took out our phone and just started recording them as they were walking with their family? That's not cool, but I see people do that all the time.
Oh, you see of course. People, I mean,
what? Wow.
Yes. Player, listen, there was just a video of people recording a dude beating up an old woman on a bus. You know how you New Yorkers do, my God. And nobody did everything. Everybody just watched and laughed. Like, come on now.
I mean,
again, I
that's
hate
where society is at now. Yep, agreed.
Yeah. So, that's proper etiquette 101 when it comes to Disneyland and seeing your favorite artists. Now, let's talk about Jagged Edge for a second here. Tom, I think we're still doing our weekly shout-outs, right? Do you have a fan that you want to shout out?
You put me on the spot. I didn't have one prepared. You know who I'm going to shout out, actually? I got to give a shout to Devmatic on Instagram. This guy has been tagging us in concert photos for months, I'd say. He's a legit photographer, though. He's on the Millennium Tour. I think he's the official photographer. I thought that was pretty cool. He's getting some good shots. So shout out to Devmatic.
Absolutely. Now, I was going to give a quick shout out to Dell Williams, who, Tom, when you posted about Jagged Edge's new photo shoot, he replied back with something along the lines of, "Let's get back to fixing the music before we start taking photos." And I was like, "Damn, that's not cool." But another interesting
shout out to Dale Williams.
Yeah, shout outs to Dell. But another interesting post that happened, you had posted the news that they were working, I believe, on their 10th studio album, Tom?
Yeah. 10th studio album, the follow-up to the Layover album. We heard the first single a couple weeks ago, Closest Thing to Perfect. So they're coming with that new album this year. They had a promo shoot, so should be interesting. But based on the first single, I think we know what we're going to get, Ed.
Playa, listen. 10 albums in. There are some great albums in that batch of 9. I'm hoping that 10 feels not too much like Layover, because let me tell you about that single. It was not close to perfect.
Hey.
Now,
guys, we're not here. Guys, I'm going to reel it back in before we get off the tracks here. This was not a criticism or an analysis of Jagged Edge's new music, but an interesting comment that did happen. A fan said, Jagged Edge has 9 albums already? So
I was just about to say that.
So, Tom, we're going to give you a little R&B trivia here, because I'm confident because of Ed's expertise on Keith Sweat and R&B in general, I don't need to test him anymore. So, Tom, can you name every single Jagged Edge album in chronological order from the beginning up until now? Can you do that?
I'm going to try. So, it started with A Jagged Era, then it was J.E. Heartbreak, then it was Jagged Little Thrill, then it was Hard, I believe.
My favorite.
Yep.
Then it was next one the self-titled album.
Yep.
Then it was what's the name of that album with the Ashanti single?
Damn right. If that's how you
that's
remember
the one,
that
you know what I'm
album,
talking about, right?
It's the Baby Making Project, yes.
Yes, that was a weird album. I will talk about that another time.
Yeah,
after that, honestly, it gets a little hazy after that, I'll be honest with you.
Oh.
Well, you're asking me to name them off the spot. You know how many albums I have in my collection?
You love Jagged Edge.
What? Let me think real quick after that.
You're almost there. You almost got it.
We'll throw them out, Ed. Let's go.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It's a single. Well, it wasn't really a single, but it was named after one of their songs.
Tom, the album has the great song Spaceship on it, if that helps.
No,
Yeah,
that doesn't help.
I do remember that album. That is a good song. I can't remember the name of the album.
The album name is The Remedy.
The Remedy.
Oh,
yes.
The Remedy. Ed, you remember this?
Yes, I reviewed it.
And what came after The Remedy?
Then we're talking J.E. Heartbreak 2.
Yes, okay.
And then the album of which we do not speak.
All right.
Over.
So I got the important part. You know, the first
Yeah,
half.
you did pretty good.
I at least knew they had 10 albums. It wasn't like I was unaware.
Well, it's weird to think of them having that many albums. Like a lot of times our mind cuts off after the Jagged Edge album in 2006, but they've been working for the 10 years after that.
Yep. All right, guys. It's time for some fun R&B facts. So, Ed, as you know, Jacquees, the self-proclaimed king of R&B, he dropped his new single, My Piece, featuring your favorite rapper / singer, Lil Baby, which, Ed, I don't understand the love or the hype about this guy, but you might. But some fun facts for you, Tom and Ed. Ed, did you know that Jacquees, from when he first started till now, he has dropped 10 mixtapes? That's a lot of music.
I know he dropped a ton of mixtapes. I didn't know there were 10. But yes, Jacquees has been around for a while. That's no question.
All right, and Tom, your fun R&B fact of the day. So let's take it to social media for a second, Tom. You follow all of your favorite artists on social media, don't you?
Yes.
And you follow them because you support them, right? And you want to see what they're up to.
Right.
So can you please explain to me why our co-host, Mr. Ed Bowser, does not follow Keith Sweat on Instagram?
Ed?
Now, this is news to me. I don't follow Keith on Instagram.
I think, you know what it is, Kyle? I think it's because he got blocked and that it won't show up as him following.
Oh my God. First of all, I need you to stay out of my mentions to figure out who's being blocked and who's not being blocked. I did not know I wasn't following Keith.
Ed, you don't have to feel bad, man. We got blocked by Keisha Cole for no reason, too, so.
Oh my gosh, let's not bring that up again. She'll be out here with the...
At least Pleasure P unblocked us. At least Pleasure P unblocked us.
I still don't understand what that was about.
I can say with full confidence we've never done anything to deserve being blocked by anyone. Come on. The support we give these guys?
Right, I agree.
Maybe except Usher.
But Usher hasn't blocked us. I will say I love Keisha, but Keisha, there was a time when she got pissed at me and unpissed at me in the span of 3 minutes on Twitter. So she can be a little temperamental on these social medias.
Well, the worst thing I will say about Pleasure P is about a decade ago, my wife, who was then my girlfriend, kept playing Boyfriend Number 2, and I yelled at her and told her to shut it off because I didn't like the song.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a weird song for you to hear. Like, she trying to tell you something? I'd be like, all right, Marlene, chill on that song,
we did have a breakup the next year, but we eventually worked it out, and we're now happily married. So there's that.
Well, there is always a happy ending to this, and thankfully there is no Boyfriend Number 2.
Yes. Sir.
Rumor has it Tom was singing Pleasure P's other hit, "Did You Wrong," and everything was okay after.
That's how we got her back.
I don't even know that song. Let's keep it moving.
All right. Some new music for you guys. Maxwell, his new EP, which features a bunch of unreleased remixes, came out recently. I don't think any of us have heard it yet. It's been a crazy week for us. But once we get a chance to listen to it, we'll give you our thoughts because we all love Maxwell. And Marvin Gaye also dropped a album. Well, I guess his label dropped an album full of unreleased Marvin Gaye songs. Salam Remy produced a song on there, Tom?
That's our boy. One of our favorite producers.
Yep.
Yeah, no question. One of the most underrated in R&B and hip-hop. Love Salam.
And he always does it for the culture. You gotta love it. Some more new music that came out. Shanice has a new single out. And Lipstick Gypsy, Tom, one of your favorite new acts. They dropped their EP. That's exciting news.
Yep, yeah. Definitely check that one out.
I haven't checked that one out yet, and I'm very excited to. So I'll report back on that one pretty soon.
And people seem pretty excited about Shanice being back, so that's cool too.
Exactly. Now, can we get into the Playa Please really quickly, guys? I got 2 for you guys.
Oh boy, here we go.
Or maybe 3. Actually, this is not even a Playa Please. Tom, I forgot to mention. Can we talk about Jaheim's epic Instagram rant for a second?
Yes, we can.
I don't know this.
Log on to our Instagram profile real quick. We reposted it and then report back while I just discuss it real quick. First off, I have no idea what was going on at the beginning of that post. He said something about his album had an abortion and it's being rebirthed or something. It was really weird. The moral of this post was, though, that the music industry kind of is tearing this guy apart, made him scrap a whole album, and he's got to start from scratch. And we wrote, see, the music industry is not all fun and games, people. So, yeah, he's going through some things right now. He might be off that Uber job. I don't know if he's, he might have been able to quit that.
Stop.
But
we haven't even confirmed if he's an Uber driver. You can't say that.
Yeah, that's true. We have no idea. But anyway, it just goes to show you about the music industry. People think it's all glitz and glamour, and it's all positive stuff, but there's a lot of evil stuff going on too. So I don't know what's going on with Jaheim, but that post was a little concerning.
I'm looking at it now. My goodness, it looks like some kind of letter that some villain would send before Batman crashes through the window to save the person. It's on some stuff, dog. But I mean, we talk about it here a lot on the podcast. And a lot of times we complain that our favorite artists aren't doing what we want them to do, and they should be doing this, and they should be doing that, and they should be in the spotlight. This post tells you that it's a lot deeper and a lot more psychologically draining than we sometimes give it. credit for. The business will eat folks alive, and poor Jaheim looks like he's going through it. I suggest y'all check out, I got Soul's IG page and see this, because this is my first time looking at it, and Lord.
Damn. So let's get into the Playa Please here before Mr. Jon B joins us on the podcast. Ed, we got two. Tom, I'm going to start out with this one. So a couple of episodes ago on the podcast, we had talked about chicken tenders, chicken strips, and how there was a huge recall on them because they found rubber in these chicken strips. Well, another report came out today. They're doing another recall because those chicken strips, now people have found that there's metal in these chicken strips. Tom, are you eating chicken or are you eating metal right now?
Oh, man. I'd rather eat the rubber than the metal. I mean, chicken sometimes tastes a little rubbery. I just thought that's how it tasted, But if there was a piece of metal in my chicken, I think I'd know about it. I wouldn't just keep eating.
Regardless if you know or not, why you got metal shards in your freaking chicken? This isn't a prison shank. What is going on?
Yeah, we got to do
better. Where's the quality control, player?
Absolutely. And Ed, this will be your time to rant away. I don't know how much time we have for you to rant, but my boy Daniel Julius Caesar, fellow Canadian.
Oh, no.
He managed to piss off the internet. Why? What did he do, Ed?
Oh, my God. Listen, I won't get too deep into it because it involves people named Yes Jules, and if you don't know who she is, be glad you don't. She's a pointless Instagram personality. I hate that there are people famous. We talk about the Kardashians being famous for doing nothing. Well, there are even less people who are more famous for doing absolutely nothing. At least they got a TV show. This person has nothing. Anyway, this Yes Jules comes into conversations about cultural appropriation, yada yada, blah blah blah. And now we are with Daniel Caesar, who has decided to defend the honor of this weirdo and trashing pretty much all of his black fans in the process. Let me tell y'all, player, something. You should have known something was up with this dude when he got the blonde Macaulay Culkin haircut like Kanye West did. When you knew that was up, he sold his soul out the door. So, again, when the Jacquees King of R&B stuff came up, and everyone was screaming, oh, but he's the best artist of his generation. And I'm like, I guess y'all didn't hear Daniel Caesar's album, which was better, and sold more, and had higher charting singles. So I think he has the crown if you're going to do that. Even if he has the crown, at this point, take it away. He don't deserve it. I'm tired of us elevating artists because they're talented and allowing them to comment on social issues. Just because you make a good song does not mean you have the right to talk about what's going on socially, when clearly you don't know what you're talking about. So go sit down with your blonde hair and your privilege and allow the adults to have the intelligent conversations.
Yeah. Shoutouts to the Canadians out there doing it big for R&B, but Tom, as we're sitting down and thinking about all of this, I think it's time to grab our popcorn and our soda because Jon B is about to join us on the podcast.
Oh, man. We're excited.
All right, guys. Like I said, every week we try to bring in a special guest, someone that has brought soul back. And Tom, I'm really excited about this one. You managed to finally get it done. Who do we have on the podcast today?
I think this is probably our most requested guest for the podcast, the amazing Jon B. He's someone I could call a friend of mine and someone who just has made such amazing music for so many years and had such an impact on R&B music. So just so excited to have Jon B on the podcast, man. Welcome.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tom.
Absolutely. Want to start out, Jon, man. There was so much excitement when we heard this new single was coming out with Donell Jones, man. A collaboration of two 90s legends, man. It just tell us about this song, Understand, and what this is all about.
Wow, yeah, no, I'm super excited about it myself. We just finished the video for this, and, that really kind of, put everything, really made it that much more real for me, because when I first wrote the song, I wrote and produced the record. Actually, a friend of mine, Tim Carter, people would know Tim, actually. If you watch the They Don't Know video, I'm getting the very beginning of the video. I'm getting my hair cut, and a barber, barbers cut my hair, and barbershop, and the barber is Tim Carter, and Tim Carter.
I actually remember that.
Yeah, yeah. So Tim has been a long time friend of mine, and he always was a great singer and a great songwriter. But he became an incredible vocal coach, and has worked with everybody from Fifth Harmony and all the girls in Fifth Harmony to Beyonce. I mean, you know, so he's well established in his own right, and that's Tim Carter. So he helped me write the verses on Understand. And it's interesting, when he wrote the record with me, you know, I did I recorded it, and I said, you know, the cadence of the first verse, man, it kind of, I don't know if that's me all the way. It sounds more like Donell Jones than it does me, you know. And I just kind of said that as soon as I heard that, you know. I wasn't thinking, let me make this a duet with Donell Jones. It wasn't until I ran into Donell, we were doing a show together, and we kept running into each other. We would do these lineup shows where, you know, I'd see him backstage, and, hey, man, we got to do something, man. Oh, yeah, that'd be dope, yeah. And, you know, we never made it happen. So after this last time seeing him at this one show, I gave him a key with some music on it, and Understand was one of the joints. And he instantaneously got back to me, and he was like, yo, I really like number 4, man. That Understand joint, that's the one right there. And I said, well, it's crazy because that's the one I had in mind for you. You know, it works perfect. So let me know when you're available to do it. And let me tell you, it took a long time to get the record done. It was actually, I waited a long time, but it's because both of us had such grueling tour schedules that it's hard to, like, you know, get the time right, coordinate the time. So we were finally able to get this thing done. And when I heard the record, because he recorded his verse at his studio, and he sent me it, and I was just like, oh man, you did it. You know, you made it so you know, you put your swag on it and just, you know, completely murdered the record. So took it to a whole nother level. And then I just said to him, I said, now we do the video for this, and it's a movement, you know. So we got the video done, and I feel real good about it. I haven't really felt this good about a song I put out in a really long time.
Wow.
You know, just the quality of the whole thing is a very high one, I will say. You know, from my experience, I've done a lot of collaborating over the years, and this means the most to me that anything has in a really long time.
Wow.
Reminds me of how I felt like when I did Are You Still Down? You know, just
wow.
The audience ain't even heard it yet, and I already feel like it's a hit. So, yeah.
Well, John, when I tell you, man, the excitement for this is off the charts. Basically, when we were sharing the news about this collaboration, and then we found out it's the first single from your new album, and people have been waiting a long time, as you know, for a Jon B album. So, man, what can you tell us about the album?
Well, the album is, is coming too. I mean, I'm so excited to have the album coming out too. You know, it took a very long time to get this one done, but I will say the album is sort of the sum of a lot of different, you know, moments in time that really are important moments in time for me, and I was able to kind of like have these little pockets of time be, you know, sort of like last forever now with these songs. I'll always remember, because what I did was, you know, I took certain songs from like certain years, like maybe something back from late 99 or something, and I updated it, and I made it, you know, put some new drums to it, layered up some vocals, put some new keys on it, and updated it so it had this very unique quality to it, because it wasn't right now. It was kind of vintage, but it was updated. So, you know, there's joints like that are very much gems that, you know, have been around for a while now and just kind of age like wine. And I'm very happy to share those records. But at the same time, there's new music that just got created over the last couple of years. songs like Understand, and there's also a very one of my favorites on the album is called Waiting on You, and I did that with my boy Brady, who actually is my bass player, from my band, and Tom, you've seen many shows at the BB King.
Absolutely.
Brady's a very, very virtuoso bass player.
That's our boy, yeah.
Brady Watt is his name. You can check him out, Brady Watt. We actually just did a thing together for his bass and bars episode thing that he's doing, and he's doing live collaborations with all the people that he grew up loving, and that actually he's gotten to know through being the bass guy on the road. And so Quali is on there. I'm featured on there. So yeah, you can check him out. Brady Watt, bass and bars. We just did Are You Still Down live on my balcony. It was lit.
Wow.
Dope arrangement he made of the bass, where he basically played the chords and the bass line all on the bass, just all live. And he's also a very unique bass player because he's a fretless bass player. So it's he has a certain tonality that's very unique. But anyway, we did this record together, Waiting on You, and it's probably the only record on the album that I will say happened in one day. It was just like I got down in the studio and I said I was going to write a record, and I did just that, and I didn't stop until it was done. I didn't break it up into 2 days or 3 days or whatever. It just got done. It was a solid train of thought from beginning to end. And it's interesting because the song is called Waiting on You, but what the song really represents to me is more like my creativity. And when that moment comes to you of like feeling like you're in your zone, sometimes you have to wait a long time to get back in that zone. It's like, oh, come on, man, where's the inspiration right now? You feel the weight of the world or whatever. So that sometimes can feel like writer's block. And so you're waiting for those, those moments to come of sort of like clarity and focus. But at the same time, the song's also about waiting for your lover, the one you love, to sort of like meet you halfway and be there with you, really be there with you. Because sometimes we just get so lost in the responsibilities of the day, that we tend to have, we tend to like be blind, take a blind eye to a lot of other things, in our life, relationship-wise. So the song is to help strengthen that, and Waiting on You, sort of like, all right, you can keep me waiting. I'll wait all my life for you, just because when you show up, it's perfect timing, It's,
right.
So you got. I ain't gonna spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. I just want to give you guys a sample of what the song is talking about. But
we appreciate that, John.
Absolutely.
Jon, man, before you got on the podcast, we were just talking about your impact, the love we have for your music, and the fact that we have been waiting so long, no pun intended, with the waiting. But Ed,
absolutely.
Can you
very fitting as well,
right.
for that reason.
So Ed, can you chime in and help us out and let us know the impact of Jon and what he's done for us as listeners, and also how excited you are to hear a new album from Jon B in 2019?
Man, listen, I was down, are you still down? I've been down since 95. So I have seen the evolution of Jon, because I think his contributions to R&B kind of get overlooked, because he was sitting at the helm with Babyface at his peak in the mid-'90s, going into the early 2000s, being the voice behind some of the best written songs in the history of R&B. So you got that wave that you're riding, and then coming up into the 2000s, still putting out quality music. The thing that's always been crazy to me, though, Jon, and you can speak on this from your experience, a lot of our readers are like, oh, I love Jon, I love Cool Relax, I love Pleasures You Like, but then it kind of like the conversation stops right there. And I'm like, what happened to Helpless Romantic? What happened to Comfort?
Thank you,
I
man.
feel like a lot of those hits you
kind
had in the 90s.
underappreciated. But that's when the whole social media and internet sort of took over, and it was actually, before that, but it really got kind of like where there wasn't no more CDs being bought. You know what I mean? It wasn't a matter of, are you going to press up CDs and go like that, because unless you have a major situation going on with distribution and whatnot. And I was used to having distribution. I was used to having a major deal on a major label. When that sort of whole need for that kind of changed and everything began to be social media and internet based, and people stopped buying records, and it was more like, even if you had a record in the store, it didn't matter who you were. Nobody was buying it, and if they got your John, it was for free on the internet. So
true.
It was more like, okay, do you just kind of like just let people stream, and so the whole streaming element started to begin being more relevant, and that was an adjustment for me, because I'm used to giving people my whole cohesive project in one go. You stand in line, you buy the joint, you go unwrap it, sit in your car, you listen to all 12, 14 records, whatever it is, and we get it done. And you decide whether you like it or not. Now you don't even have the chance, because you don't know it's out, or you might have downloaded 1 or 2 or 3 records, or so it's just not it's a different kind of engagement that the audience has with the music. But I feel like the diehard fans, the people that really enjoy my music, will make the effort to go out and and get the album and figure out what's going on. Sometimes the most quality things in life are a little harder to find. You might find a dope-ass jacket that is, just an amazing coat that no one else has, but you found it in the back of like this boutique store that, what I mean? So things are like that sometimes, and I feel like my music is in its own little comfortable corner, waiting for people to discover it, and I've never been one to sort of lust for fame.
Right.
So I feel like as long as I can make quality music and continue to put it out and perform it, and really it's in the shows, and proof is in the pudding as far as like being out there in front of the audience and crooning and showing that I have the passion every day to do what God put me on the planet to do, which is sing for you and create music for you. So, if the music doesn't do it for you in terms of the actual songs that you hear me putting out, then I'm going to give it to you in the performance. And if you still come in and you're not feeling it, then hey, I don't know what to tell you.
Man.
So yeah, John, I'm feeling good.
Man, John, I love all that you're giving us right now, but one thing I did want to circle back to, you were talking about all these new records that are going to be on the album, and let me tell you, there's one video on our YouTube page. Tom recorded it at your show at BB King's a couple of years ago. The song Hurricane, that has views on our page, and everyone is like, where the heck is that song? So John,
it's not coming out. I will say, sometimes in life you have to go through breakups, you have to go through relationships that end up not working out, and it's a hard thing to address for me, because it's like, it's just like my divorce, talking on the Unsung. I don't know if anybody saw my Unsung episode, but that was very, very, truth-telling for me, very much making amends with my history, with my past and the things that I've been through. And so every time I talk about the past, I feel like very much like I'm sort of making amends. So with that, since you asked about it, the song was also very special to me. I wrote the song Hurricane with a very talented gentleman by the name of Eric Dawkins, and also produced by Warren Campbell, the track. And I was excited about that track. I really was. But, to tell you the truth, it was a little premature of a release. It sort of got out from under my feet, and I really didn't feel like I had my feet fully planted on the floor, like I'm used to having. I felt like it was moving before I even got a chance to say, okay, I'm ready, to where, I just didn't feel comfortable with the release. I didn't feel like the business really made sense for me. And when the business supersedes the art, what is actually being released to people, what are we giving them? When the business is more important than that, then you really have to go and redefine what you're doing, you know what I mean, or decide whether you want to even do it at all. And at that point, I had recorded like 9 songs, 10 songs, you know what I mean? No, I don't think it was that many, but it was a good amount of songs that I had done, with the intention of putting those out, not putting them out, but with the intention of saying, okay, we're going to do good business and we're going to be able to make this thing happen. And that wasn't the case. So with Hurricane, the hurricane came and went, man. You know what I mean? We kind of had to let that one kind of blow with the wind. And right. But all due respect to everybody involved, you know what I mean? It's more like, hey, we couldn't get the business right, so, it is what it is. I'm not going to discredit anyone or throw no shade or anything like that. I feel blessed. Like I was kind of tried through fire like a sword being dipped in the fire, you know what I mean? And then it came out even sharper, so hence the album that you have before you right now. Yeah. Enough talking about
John.
Hurricane.
Thank you for sharing that with us, John.
One in the past.
We still get asked about
allowing that one to be something that you dug, because I dug it too. Appreciate that.
We still get asked about the Mr. Goodnight album, so we just want to clear up for the fans, and it's good that you were able to share that with us.
Yeah, it's good to finally talk about it, because now I have a reason to. I have this album. Understand that is that I feel very, very confident about, and
right.
It took everything that Mr. Goodnight album couldn't be for me, but nevertheless was a stepping stone and very much a learning process for me of what I wanted to do. And so that was cool to be able to have all those people kind of like as just help season what I already had going on, which was dope. I appreciate everybody for that,
John, let me switch gears a little bit, because this UK show you had recently with Donell Jones, where you kind of first revealed the single you guys had, and just all the love you were getting out in the UK made us really think about how much love that Europe shows to R&B artists, especially from the 90s. And But John, before you chime in, let me have Ed speak on this a bit, because we talk about this all the time on the podcast. Because it's so disappointing to us, because in the U.S. here, it's like we act like artists fell off or no longer relevant, but in reality, these are legends. We should be appreciating. But Ed, you chime in on this.
Yeah, because we've talked about this a lot before, and I know John can weigh in, because it's kind of a cultural thing, but my man Keith Sweat has talked a million times about how much love he gets in Japan. We just had Pam on from Total last week talking about how her singles were doing really well over there. But I wonder if, and John, I want to get your opinion, if it's a cultural thing, because I know a lot of times I'm out here on social media, I'm the grouchy old man beating the drum against younger fans and even older fans who are like, oh, if someone hasn't dropped a song in 30 minutes, they're irrelevant, they fall off, they washed, it's whatever. But a lot of the artists that we love and respect over there doing the thing, A. Marie's another one, over there across seas, pulling out lots of shows, packed shows, and a lot of their music is getting love. Why do you think that there's this big divide between the audiences here back at home and the ones across seas? Is it really sometimes
I don't really see that. I don't really see it, because all I see is sold out shows everywhere I go. You know what I mean? All I see is the success part of it. So the picture that you paint is not relevant for me. I am very much at the top of the game as far as R&B game. There's pretty much no one except Genuine probably, who works more than I do, serving the R&B fans of the United States of America and the United States and you know, and Europe, the UK, and I don't really go to Asia much, but I don't know, man. It's like people got to do their stats, you know what I mean? They got to do their homework as far as who's out doing what, because I don't know if there's someone else who's working harder than I am. I need to know his name. I need to know. I need to get his agent's number, because yeah, my wife is really she's a beast, you know, at booking the shows and making sure that I'm already booked all the way till summer, you know what I mean, with an entire tour set up, and you know. So I don't know what the perception is of whoever, but that's what the reality of the situation is. You know, I put the asses in the seats, and people are coming to see the show to sing the songs. You know what I mean? And that, if I couldn't do that, then I wouldn't have a career, and I wouldn't have a way to be able to still, consider the art of what I do, which is I still love songwriting and making beats and actually playing music. So if that can be special for people still after all this time, then that's a blessing in itself. And the old songs are sort of the vehicle that moves it all forward, you know, that makes it all sort of matter because of the old feelings, because of the old things that we went through. So a lot of us were raised, you know, a lot of the kids were raised to this music, and you know, they don't even know why they like it. They're like, man, because I was born to that song. You know what I mean? Like, the song was playing in my crib. No, you know, but you know, it has been 22 years. It has been 24 years, and a lot has changed. But if you're still here and you're still doing it, then that's all you need. You know what I mean? It's just the will to continue to do it. Who cares what anyone says? I mean, it goes back to my motto of they don't know, you know? Don't listen to what people say, you know, literally.
Basically.
You got to go and you got to check it out yourself, and you got to experience this. And this is just basically me giving you my heart. And I'm just as, you know, as important as the next man. But I have a way of doing what I do, and hopefully people have tuned in to the way that I do it, and as long as they continue to appreciate that, then I'll always have a sort of like a voice in this world. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing, because I know what it's like to have people have such incredible voices, and then we don't hear them no more, and then we miss them, and we're like, oh, what happened to that guy? And then we appreciate them after it's too late. You know, they're gone, and you're not making music because, you know, they're not here anymore. But nevertheless, we need to appreciate people while we're here, you know. But I think it begins with yourself, and you appreciating yourself and being able to be like, nah, you know what? No matter if the album just sells 10 copies, this is like the greatest. I feel so good about this, you know what I mean, before I put this out. And that's where my heart is, you know. That's why I continue to be content with everything I do.
Wow, that's amazing, John. I wish everyone had that perspective.
Yeah, well, it's easier when you have bigger things to live up to, like daughters and wife, right? I mean, people that really, things that really, really matter, like my time that I give them and the time I take to be a father. It's way more important than the time I take to, you know, to make my music, because ultimately I can't get that time back. I can always write another song. You know what I mean? So the time it's taking me to do this album, like, because I'm not the man I was at 21, where the only person I had to think about was me. Now it's, what would my wife do? What would my babies do? You know, how are they going to feel? And how is it going to affect them? So yeah, Understand is a perfect record to kind of hit the world with right now, because it shows everyone where my mental state is right now, like just like how I think and like what I'm about. And I've kind of always tried to make my mottos for life kind of like my hooks. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm about right now. You know, that's how I feel. You know? Yeah.
John, it's so cool to hear you and your mind state right now. And, you know, we had Donell Jones on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. Case, Montel Jordan, we had a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, you guys are all doing these shows together, these 90s tours. And do you ever look back or, talk with these guys and reflect back on, like, just knowing that you guys made an impact and you guys are still on the road, still bringing people great memories, great performances? Like, do you ever reflect back on these moments with your fellow acts?
Oh yeah, man, all the time. That's the beauty of it all. It's like, man, I had Donell over for dinner after we did the video, and
wow.
He's like, "Wow, man, this is nice. This house is nice. This how long have you lived here?" And I said, "This is the house I bought, with the album Cool Relax."
Oh,
He's
man.
like, "Oh, wow, man, that's cool. That's like me. I have my house that I bought when I did, where I want to be." And I said, "Of course, from the face, and it's interesting because you talk about longevity and being able to sustain and just being able to have, if you still have something after all this time, after 24 years, and not just something, but I mean, we like I said, we're gigging all the time. We're on the road all the time. We're still writing all the time. We're still collaborating, still trying to make music that people love. So nothing has changed. And we've been able to steer this course and maintain this. So obviously we're doing something right, And I'm not one to toot my own horn, but I will commend Donell for the job that he's done and being able to just sing his songs for his fans and go everywhere and just let people know he's still here, And I felt like at Soul Train, when Soul Train bigged us up with the opportunity to be able to sing at the Soul Train Awards 2018 and be together on that, in terms of like the way they did the arrangement, they had us sequenced together, to perform right back to back. Very, very much felt like I shared the stage with Donell. We had that moment that we were able to kind of blast off together. And ever since then, that was sort of like the defining moment of like, felt like the energy behind both of our careers. It was just like, I don't know, it's something about performing for the people and making music for the people who already support you and already love you, and they want to see you do well. They want to see the music. They're not like, hey, convince me. I don't believe you. Do something dope. It's like that's more like, no, yeah, man, yeah, that's right. Keep it going. And it's like it's a beautiful thing to celebrate that, because that's what R&B is really about. It's the love, man. It's about the good feeling, the celebration, and the sorrow too, the sadness, the passion behind the sadness and all of that. So it's everything, the yin and the yang. But one thing R&B ain't about is that hate, that shade. You know what I mean? That's not what. That's more of like a newer kind of element to it, a ratchet element to it. I don't really like, and that's more of a youthful kind of younger.
Right.
You're still maturing, trying to figure out who you are if you hate and are literally like worried about anybody else or what they got or what they're doing or anything like that. If you're a grown man, you stay in your own lane and you keep it moving.
Exactly.
And that's what Understand is all about. The album's going to let you know in a real sweet, short way with 11 songs. I don't think I'm going to do more than 11. I might do 12, but I think 11 is good because I was born 11/11. So, 11 is good. Yeah, 11 is good. So, but it's just to key you in on the man I am now at 44.
Yeah. So, Tom, I'm going to throw it to you really quickly because you've seen Jon B live many, many times. And then, Ed, I'm going to throw it over to you so you hang tight. But, Tom, talk about the reaction when people, or when Jon performs, they don't know, and what that reaction is like.
Well,
that's always a song, man. That's always a song, man. That's
Jon.
That's celebration, Jon.
Let me say, Jon. For starters, Jon.
Yeah.
You're the only artist I've ever seen who has the keyboard slash. It's like a guitar sort of. I've never seen any.
Yeah, the guitar.
I've never seen. You're the only artist. You're the only R&B artist using that, which is amazing. But let me say, when you sing, they don't know. It's like an amazing reaction from the audience because you don't even have to sing at that point.
It's a beautiful thing to see, I mean, to see people hold on to that moment of my life, and which I was It was interesting because when I wrote that song, I was more like it was to satisfy two parts of my personality. One was I wanted to tell my love at the time, my girl. I wanted to tell her, don't listen to what people. Don't be jealous. Like, come to me and ask me first. At least give me the benefit of the benefit of the doubt, and just come to me. Let's keep hearsay out of our relationship. But the other part of the song, the deeper part of the song, was more or less I was trying to tell everybody who I was involved with, musically, artistically, business-wise, the fans, everything, the world. Like, don't go off what you think it is. Give me a chance to give you who I am. Like, let me say who I am. Don't listen to what other people have to say about it. Like, come to me, and like, if you give me a chance to show you who I am, I guarantee you that I'm not going to let you down. And that's what the song, with the deeper meaning of it was that I felt like I was coming into my own on that song, because so much of what I was doing artistically had been overshadowed by Babyface. For good reasons, for all deservable reasons. But nevertheless, I was my own artist. I was, I had my own voice. I had my own words, my own lyrics, my own production. So, that was my... But I got to big up Tim Kelly and, Bob Robinson for that as well, being the production behind the track, inspiring the song. Because when I wrote the song, it was another one of those moments where I say it's very, very rare where you have one of those moments where you go into the studio and you come out that same day with a finished song. That was one of those days. So, yeah, it was a beautiful thing.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's still a beautiful thing to sing it live for people and watch them sing, "You're my angel."
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, And then, at the very end when I'm like, they don't know about our love, they don't know about our love. They don't know about our love. And everybody's singing the ad-lib, and I'm going, whoa, I don't even have to sing it no more,
Yeah.
It's just like the lighters is up, but the cell phones is up, everyone's singing. It's a beautiful thing, man. So God is good, man. I'm blessed, That song has been a blessing to me, and, I appreciate everybody for enjoying it.
For sure. Ed, I got to ask you, Ed, because... man, like, Jon B's music has been embraced by R&B fans universally. We look at some of these newer acts now, like a Sam Smith or Adele. R&B fans are kind of tiptoeing around them, saying maybe they're R&B, maybe they're not. So, Ed, what drew R&B fans to Jon B in particular?
I think coming from that era, I think they came to it because of the style. Like, when you listen, he just told you, like, broke down the story behind They Don't Know. That is a relatable song that is well-produced, well-written, and most importantly, sung with convincing emotion. Like, when you put those three together, that's a classic. That's what makes a classic song a classic record. Because it's believable and it connects. And I think that's why. I mean, a lot of times we start to put artists in boxes for a lot of reasons, but when it comes to back then, understanding and loving a song, it all came down to believability, and that's what my man did each and every time out.
Thank you, my bro. Yeah. Appreciate that, man. That's what's up.
So, John, $1 million question here.
Yeah.
If you could do it all over again with the success that you have now, and I'm not sure what the label, if they were pushing you towards a certain direction, but are you happy with where you're at, or would you have wanted to dibble and dabble into that pop world?
Oh, no. I mean, I'm happy because I ended up exactly where I always, you gotta understand, like, I never had the ambition to be famous for the sake of just for everybody to know who I was and have a bunch of money and mansions. I come from a family of musicians. My father is a professor of music who's taught music at the college and is a conductor of orchestras and stuff like that for like 35 years, 40 years. Mother's a pianist, still teaches piano in her front living room to this day, over 35 years. She's concert pianist, very, very established. My sister is the principal violinist for the Brooklyn Symphony and plays the first chair in the Brooklyn Symphony. She teaches violin. Wow. My brother's a cellist. So I'm a pianist and a songwriter singer, drummer, you know, and that's innate in me. That's what I do, regardless of whether it's a category or, you know, I put a record out, whatever. I'm a musician. So I do it for different reasons, and my music has taken me on this journey that I've been able to have with putting these albums out, these cohesive, you know, bodies of work. And I feel very proud of my bodies of work that I've been able to put out. I'm an artist. That's what I do. Like, people paint and make, you know, paintings, and they put them up in museums. That's how I feel about my music, you know, and it goes up in the museum with all of the other art that all the other artists put up. And it's a beautiful thing for the people who've been paying attention, because I do it a certain way. And I feel like if people value what I do, then they'll see, you know, damn, he does it a little different than such and such. I like the way he does it too, you know what I mean? And they stick with me, and it becomes this relationship that we've been able to share for years now, you know. So it's just, I just continue to just love the process and pay attention to the process. I don't feel like I know it all. I feel like I'm still learning the business, because the business is part of what I don't like about being in the music business. It's just like the business.
Yeah.
I hate it. But nevertheless, I have to. It's a you know, you have to have it. It's a component of what gets it all done. But if all I had to do was just be in the studio or be on the stage and sing for you, that would make everything so perfect. It would make everything just, you know, a utopian world. But that's not the way it is. Unfortunately, business gets in the way, or makes things take longer, or you have to plan things out a certain way, or you know what I mean? So it's a lot involved, and so it really comes down to whether you really enjoy what you do for the right reasons. And I feel like my career has been nothing but a blessing to me this entire 24 years I've been able to make music for you, you know.
Absolutely. And Jon, we just got a couple minutes left. We're going to hit you with an off-the-wall question, all right? This one's a little crazy, but you don't have to name the artist. But, you know, you do a lot of these shows with a lot of other 90s artists, the lineups, whatever, you know, like the festivals and stuff. Is there any artist that you dislike performing with, aside, you know, who gives you a bad experience, who just gives you a bad vibe? You don't have to name the artist. Just want to know if there's someone out there, and tell us about that experience if there is one.
Oh, you know what? I haven't met anybody, man, that I've had a bad experience with.
Really?
I have not met one soul in this industry where I've been like, you know, I couldn't share the stage with him, or I couldn't be in the studio with him. Literally, like, I mean, yo, man, I think the most ugliest people are like the people around the people who do what I do. You know what I mean? The people who are trying to be somebody in the business that really, you know, it takes a lot, because you have to have integrity. And there's not everybody with a lot of integrity walking around. Not to say that look, we're out there. We're all soldiers. We're all fighting for the same thing. But the bottom line is that some people have more integrity than others, and some have a thicker skin than others and can deal with conflict better than others. And I'm one of those guys. Like, I'm a resilient soul. I got a tough skin, and it's going to take a lot to take me out of the game. Well, I'm not even going to speak on that. I'm saying, though, living with the guardian angels that I have over me, watching over me, I'm good. The L has already been taken from me. You know what I mean? I'm covered. So, but bottom line is if you don't believe in what you're doing right now, you need to question why you're even doing it. Are you doing it for others, or for what others are thinking about you, or what others are saying about you? Or are you doing it because you believe in what you're doing, and you don't need anybody to validate you but you? And that's just real. I don't care what it is in your life that you're doing, you know. Until you can validate yourself by just allowing yourself to just breathe free and just be still and just be cool with what God gave you, then you're still searching for it. But I found my peace, and that's why I'm able to put this album out, because I feel focused, I feel ready, and I feel like others should be blessed by the music I'm making right now, you know? It's
Absolutely.
Now, Jon, one question for you. Your song Pride and Joy, because I'm a huge Jodeci fan. I can hear them.
Oh
in the back.
yeah.
Can you just
they
confirm
Casey and
for people
JoJo on the
that's Casey and
backgrounds
JoJo?
on that, man. Big up my boys.
How'd that happen though? How did they get on the background?
Oh yeah, well we were on tour together. That's another thing about the road, you know. Just like it brought me and Donell Jones together, it brought me and Casey and JoJo together, and we were able to do many tours together. Months on the road, buses, and every state in the United States, man. We've done south, north, east, west.
Mm-hmm. That's dope, man.
So yeah, man, I mean that whole experience of, you know, the tour really brought us together. That I just, you know, actually we were managed by the same manager too for a little while.
Oh, okay.
That's what kind of made that whole thing that much easier. I was like, hey man, see what Casey and JoJo are doing today. I want to see if they'd be down and come to the studio and check this record out I got. I need them to sing backgrounds on it. Oh yeah, no problem. They come to the studio.
Wow.
How can I tell you how I love you, girl? Hey.
That's dope, man. Well, Jon, you know, thank you so much. Just to wrap up, man, we just got to let you know the real reason we wanted to have you on this podcast. We were just hoping to get a free pair of those sneakers you have coming up, the Golden Soles, man.
Can't pay this dude anyway.
Yo, big up, man. Big
you.
up Jessica Rich, man. You know, she had the vision, and she's been a supporter of my music for a long time, so I can't think of a better person to do a collaboration like this with. I want to support her dreams as she supported mine. So, and let alone, it's just a badass sneaker, you know, boot. You know what I mean? It's just a
Jon, could I just say this though? I mean, when we saw this news, it was like, not only wow, does Jon B have a dope shoe coming out, but man, we do not see R&B artists having their own shoe coming out. Like, that is so dope in my mind. Like,
oh man,
to me,
thank
that's
you.
amazing.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely a great way to branch out and do other stuff, man. You know, I've always been one into fashion, and fashion is a big part of what I do. You know, wifey and I do all the styling for everything. Well, we do have our friends, you know, in the styling department that we love to work with, but primarily everything you see that I wear is my wife and I, you know, just putting it together, going shopping together, and just picking out stuff. And when I saw the sneakers, the Golden Soul is what I call them, the Golden Souls. And it really represents something for me, too, being that the name is Golden Souls. It's just, it gets back to, like, what I'm about. You know, the soul's got to be authentic. It's got to be real. These souls are gold, and it's the kind of gold that doesn't rub off. It's very, very, it's not like a paint that just, you know, it'll be wear and tear and it's flaking off. They're very, very sturdy. It's very, very quality shoe. Even the bottom of the sole is gold. So I felt like it's very royal. It's very, very fitting for where my headspace is right now. Her line is called I Am King. So I feel like everyone should be a king in their own right, you know, and a queen in their own right. And we should all walk around with our heads up in the air knowing that we're here for a reason, each one of us, you know. And if you feel royal like that, you want to, you know, put some gold on your feet to, like, compliment, like, every little gold accent you have with it, whatever, your watch or whatever. It's that extra little flair out. And I also feel like it'd be that much more effective for my shows. Something little like that, you know. The black ones are dope. The white ones are dope for the spring and the summer. Mm-hmm. I see them on the yacht parties, or, you know, at the beach. You know what I mean? It's very, very, like, you know, those are the stunning boots right there, and they're actually affordable too. They're not going to be like on Kanye prices. You know, it's not. I'm not
yeah, thank you for that.
Like Weezy. Yeah, whatever. You know, they're going to be like $200 something, you know, I think $250, something like that. You know, just to be, you know, they're high end. You know what I mean? They're just high end enough for accessible for everyone. You know, because they're not Nikes. You know what I mean? They're not like, you know, just like sneakers, like regular sneakers. These are the gold. Yeah. These are the special joints you don't always wear. You know, you might rock these like for a special event or something. You know. Special occasion.
Well, Jon, we're out of time, man. We want to thank you once again so much for joining us, man. We've been trying to make this happen for a while because you're one of the most requested guests, like we said. So,
oh man,
so happy to have you.
Thank you so much.
And
thank you so much for always being so supportive of me, man. You know, and everyone out there. You know, you guys as well. Thank you so much for your questions, and just thank you for being keyed into what I'm doing right now. Because most importantly, I want everyone to know the single is coming in April. It's definitely, you know, the video is done. We're putting this thing out, and you know, I need everyone's support because we're doing this independently. And
right.
every time you do this as an independent person, it's very, very, it's a lot involved and it's a lot going on. So if people just bear with us, you know what I mean, through the process, and you know, we're learning as we go too. And but I think that when you see the product or what we're doing, you know, the video, the song, everything, you're gonna see it's not only a good thing to come to the live show and hear the old songs that you know, but it's a good thing to keep up with me as an artist because I'm putting that real R&B out for you. I mean, it's a real project. It's a real R&B album, and I'm not sort of like experimenting this time. I'm gonna give you exactly what you came for.
Right.
All right. Enough selling myself right now.
No, but Jon, we'll continue as a team to continue to support you. Let people know what you got coming out, and even when you don't have something coming out, we'll remind people how much dope music you put out before, and remind people
Thank you,
that you're one of the living legends we have. So we'd love to do that for you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, for sure.
Oh man, appreciate you guys, man. God bless you, man, and all the best to you, man. We'll see you soon with that new video. Understand, y'all.
And that was Jon B on the podcast. Tom, are we going to get some new shoes soon?
Man, those shoes are already in the mail, guys. I can already feel it. He's going to hook us up.
You can already feel it.
Oh, man. Shout-outs to Jon B. One of our favorites. One of the website's favorite, actually.
Absolutely.
One of the internet's favorites. I mean, people ask me about Jon B at least once a week, and it just drives me nuts because people think he disappeared after Cool Relax. Look, he's been here. He's still here. He's got some new stuff coming up really, really, really soon.
Damn right. So, you know, that pretty much wraps up this week's episode. Ed, what's going on with SoInStereo.com?
A lot of times when we talk on here, we talk about what we have going on our respective sites, at least in the past few months, but not recently. You know, you guys will be like, man, R&B is so slow. There's not really much going on. Well, hip-hop has been freaking dormant lately. I don't know why everybody's on hibernation. So, not too much going on the rap front, but I did have time to revisit our man Tom's favorite artist, Mr. Musiq Soulchild, and check out Soul in Stereo because we are ranking his entire discography from bottom to top. And as much crap as I love to give Tom about music, you cannot deny that the man has one of the most consistent careers in the history of R&B. So if you want to go revisit some of his albums and see where your favorites landed, go check out Soul in Stereo.
I'm impressed,
Now,
Ed. It
Tom?
almost seems like I paid you to put up such a positive article.
Well, you know you didn't because your pocketbook is way too tight to pay your bill for some press like that.
Damn.
Now, Tom, can you quickly, with the limited amount of time we have left, can you rank those music discography for us really quickly? And we'll see how much it aligns with Ed. We'll see if you guys are best friends or if you guys hate each other.
All right. That's a tough one. I haven't thought about this in a while, but I'll probably the best one I'd say is I Just Want to Sing. I think Ed, you agreed. After that, I mean, it's like a personal choice for me. Like his first four to me are personally better than the next ones, which isn't to say any are bad, but I will probably go Soul Star, then Just Listen, then Love and Music, and then probably Feel the Real, then Music and the Magic, Life on Earth on my radio.
And there you have it.
I'm not mad at
that sounds very similar to Ed's, but check out Ed's list on SoInStereo.com. Tom, what's going on with I Got Soul.com?
Just a lot of new music coming out. Be sure to head over to the site. We have a Spotify playlist set up. We're going to start ramping that up a bit more, but just so you can listen to everything we talk about in here, we put some of the best songs that come out every week on there, add them to the playlist, so check that out. Just get caught up on everything that's happening in R&B. I don't want to credit Jacquees, but man, this has been a a kind of a busy year for R&B. Not album-wise, but news-wise, single-wise. Like, stuff is happening. And there's some good music coming out. So, you know, get familiar with what's out there and check it out.
There you have it. And Tom, I know you've been working on our Spotify playlist as well, so stay tuned for that. I know we talk about a lot of new music on the podcast, and I know you guys want to listen to it, and we want to make it as convenient as possible for you guys. So we're trying to put together a official, I mean, we already have one, but we want to make it even better, a Spotify playlist. So stay tuned for that. But guys, I guess that's it for this week. Hopefully we have another exciting guest who can join us next week. But guys, until then, I'll chat with you guys next week. 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 I'll chat